Welcome, everyone. We're super excited to have you all here today for our product roadmap webinar. We're going to share all the exciting new features we have planned in the upcoming quarters. I know that most of you are more than familiar with Front already. And for those who are newer users, Front is a customer operations platform, and we enable teams just like you to streamline your communications and deliver exceptional customer service at scale. So, a quick intro of your host today. First is me. Hello. My name is Helena, and I lead our product education team at Front. Our education team brings you resources like Front Academy, our certification program, Front Community, and also weekly live office hours, to name a few. So I'll share more about those resources in a little bit, but we also have Jo from our marketing team. She's also here to help us out with anything today. And then the main star of today's show, who will be sharing all about our roadmap and features, is Bernadine. She's from our beloved solutions engineering team at Front. So here's how today's webinar will flow. First, Bernadine will give a presentation about our upcoming roadmap. And while she's doing that, feel free to drop any questions you have about what she's talking about into the Q&A if you'd like her to answer them. And then she will answer as many of those questions live as she can. And any questions that we don't get to, do not worry, we'll post them to Front Community and we will answer the rest of them there. And we'll also post a recording of today's session there so that you can revisit it anytime. You can post questions that you think of later, or you can share the recording with your teammates. So I'm going to drop that link of the community thread where we're going to post that recording and answer the rest of the questions. It's in the chat now. So you would just log in with your Front login, the same one that you use to log into Front, and then subscribe to that thread if you'd like to follow along. And with that, Bernadine, we are so ready. Please take it away.
All right. Well, hi, everyone, and welcome again. I am so excited to walk you through all of the neat pieces of functionality that we've recently rolled out, and I think more importantly, what is coming and what to get excited about. So let's jump in. So as a customer operations platform, we have really been focused on improving our product to support three of these main value pillars here. And really the goal is for us to help you transform your customer operations. And so that first value pillar is going to be helping you to aggregate and route inbound messages. And so the idea behind this is we really want to ensure that all of the channels that your customers are using to communicate with your teams with are going to be consolidated in one place. And on top of that, we want to make sure that as these messages are coming in, they're being routed to the right teammate at the right time. The second value pillar here is going to be ensuring that we're helping to resolve customer requests faster. And so by enabling your teams to collaborate internally in Front, bring critical context that they need from other systems directly into the platform, we're hoping that this helps you to resolve those customer inquiries faster and more accurately. And then the last value pillar here is measuring and improving with operational insights. So really, this is our analytics platform. And the goal here is to ensure that we are providing you with meaningful insights so you can do just that. Now, before we dive into the content here, just wanted to preface our safe harbor statement. So really just sharing here that what we're presenting today is our current general product direction for now, but things like functionality, designs, release dates, pricing, things like that may be subject to change. So just wanted to surface that. So let's get into the good stuff. So focusing on that first value pillar here, I'm just going to walk through some of our exciting releases that are currently live, and then we'll jump into what's coming. So some of you might already be aware or might already be using Front chatbots. This was a highly anticipated feature, but quick off the heels of this release, we've also added a couple of additional improvements. One being what you can see here on the screen is the ability to use this flow chat previewer. And so instead of having to publish your chatbot to actually test the flow, we allow you to kind of open up this window to just test it right here before publishing it live for your customers or your external partners to use. Additionally, we have added the ability to create these saved flows. And so what we had heard was for some paths that exist in a chatbot flow, they contain the same steps that appear in other paths. And so instead of having to recreate those same steps for each different path that you're creating and potentially having to maintain each one of those steps separately, we have created these saved flows for you to just create those series of steps once and then plug them into the nodes of the different paths where they're appropriate. So this is a huge time saver for any of those admins who have spent time really curating these chatbot flows to ensure that your customers are receiving the right guidance and the right steps that they need at the point that they're interacting with the chatbot. Additionally, with chat, we have made it easier than ever for your teammates to be able to transition these chatbots or these chatbot conversations rather, to email. So just with a click of a button here, any agents in front will be able to follow up on the conversation or continue the chat conversation through email. So we found, or we've heard, that this is relatively helpful, or relevantly helpful rather, for any of those teams who maybe are dealing with more complex issues that are coming in through chat. So just another way that we're helping teammates to efficiently manage the work, but then also get back to your customers in a timely manner in an appropriate way. And then lastly, around chatbots here, we have released a dedicated chatbots analytics report. So in this report, you'll start to see metrics around what your chatbot performance looks like. And so ideally, when you are monitoring these metrics, you can find areas where you can potentially improve your chatbot flows, and then go back and monitor these metrics to see if those changes have made positive impacts. So on the topic of other channels that we have made improvements to support, we have launched our own native WhatsApp channel. And so this just allows you to manage your WhatsApp messages in one place and manage kind of the provisioning of those numbers in one place without having to go to a third-party provider or third-party vendor to do so. On top of that, we have made some improvements to our dial pad integration, specifically around voice. And so what you can expect with these enhancements are you will now receive enhanced incoming call notifications so that ultimately your agents never miss a call. You will be able to see that there will be automatic assignments when an agent answers a call in front and the call log activity comes through. So that message will just get assigned to the agent that answered the call. And then also there will just be general improvements around the activity that's being logged and the timeliness of when it's being logged. So all improvements that are live. Excited for those of you that have already experienced those. And if you haven't, looking forward for you to get to experience them. So now segueing into what is coming, going back to those chatbots, we have invested a lot in making improvements there, both from the front side experience, so agents that are managing chat communications, but then also admins that are standing up these chatbots, and then also on the customer experience side, making improvements there to ensure that they have a better experience as well. And so specifically with the AI answers for chatbots, what we are releasing is the ability for AI to engage as part of your chatbot flow or part of your chatbot steps. And specifically, if you have your knowledge base stood up and hosted and published with Front, AI will comb through that content to be able to surface the relevant information to hopefully respond to and ultimately deflect these customer inquiries coming through. So this one is also very highly anticipated. So definitely something to keep an eye out for. Now, on top of that, another improvement coming for these chatbots is the ability to bring in data from third-party systems directly into the conversation, again, to help support the conversation and maybe ultimately deflect the message from an agent having to answer it. And so what we're seeing here in this example, of course, this design is not final, is if a customer is asking for the status of their order, we can use the data from your third-party systems to actually pull it in here and respond to that inquiry. And then another improvement for chatbots coming is just the ability to, again, kind of further personalize what the experience looks like for your customers. So doing things like being able to recognize what page your chat visitor is on, what language their browser is in. You'll be able to pull in that information here to, again, kind of tailor those steps or tailor those messages to where your customer is at. All right, so another kind of channel that we are looking to invest in, and this is very exploratory, so you'll see that this is coming in the next couple of quarters here, is native SMS. And so the idea behind being able to support this is we want to be able to support those customers who truly want an all-in-one solution. And so instead of, again, having to go to a third-party provider or a third-party vendor for SMS service, you can leverage Front to do so. So definitely stay tuned for this one. There will be a lot more information coming in the next couple of quarters, but definitely wanted to put this one on your radar. All right, so for that next value pillar that we talked about, resolving requests faster, again, I'll walk through some of the more recent improvements that we've made and then speak to what we have coming on our roadmap. So with our Compose with AI and Summarize with AI features, hopefully some of you have already been able to use this feature or have seen it. But the idea behind this is we wanted to leverage AI to help your teammates be able to craft responses quicker and also just get a summary or get a download of all that's gone on in a conversation with multiple messages on the thread in a simple way. And so one thing that we've actually recently released is the ability to use these features on mobile. So that is definitely something exciting, definitely something that I personally use often to catch me up on longer threads that I'm a part of. Another improvement that we've made just in terms of helping your teams be able to resolve those requests quicker is the ability to have you host and publish your knowledge base with Front. And so there are many different use cases we've heard that this knowledge base helps to cover. So we support having multiple knowledge bases, both internal and external. So for those of you that want to use your knowledge base and have it published externally for your customers or for the public to be able to review and peruse through, that's certainly an option. For those teams that maybe want to have an internal knowledge base just so that your agents in Front have like a standard operating process instructions or guidance to follow, that's another use case that we see commonly as well. So a lot of various different use cases that this knowledge base supports. And then as we spoke to previously, this gets integrated if you stand up a chatbot and if you want to use AI, because again, AI will start to comb through the knowledge base content to be able to respond to your customer chats coming in. Additional improvements just specifically around knowledge base were supporting multi-language. So you can now host or you can now publish multiple translated articles just to ensure, right, that customers that you are referencing your knowledge base for or to can do so in the comfort of the language that they speak. And then lastly, with knowledge base, just like chatbot, we have released a dedicated knowledge base analytics report here for you to, again, be able to see the performance. So see what articles are being viewed the most, see what articles are being searched for the most. And when you monitor this, this data or this report, it'll give you perhaps more insight to further tailor the content to make sure that it's, you know, the most effective for your customers. All right, so another thing that I was personally very excited to see released, because I leverage heavily today, is linked conversations. And so especially when you are dealing with maybe complex kinds of inquiries that come in that you need to reach out to other parties or other external partners to be able to resolve, using these linked conversations allows you to seamlessly keep track of all of those kind of different conversations going on that still relate to getting a resolution for the original conversation. So this is this is a very neat feature that I personally use heavily, and I cannot imagine not using it at this point. Another one is dynamic objects. And so as we talked about previously, with the improvements on chatbots, being able to pull in information from external systems like a TMS or an ERP or other types of systems that you're using to house data is going to be available here for you to leverage. And so in doing so, not only are we providing just a direct link out to that particular record page or that order page in this case, but we're also starting to pull in that data into front so that your teams don't have to do the manual context switching between different systems to copy and paste information and ultimately to gather it to get back to your customer. Another improvement that we have made is the ability to create a draft as a rule action. So if you want your teams to be able to just kind of pop into a draft and make any modifications to send out the response quickly, all you need to do is ensure that you have message templates set up to use. And then ultimately, when you create a rule that executes this create draft, you would just select the message template that's relevant for, again, your teammate to just kind of hop into the message, make any modifications, and then ultimately send out a quick and accurate response. Those message templates are really handy because not only do they provide a way for you to provide just kind of like an accurate type of response, especially for frequently asked questions, but they also provide a more kind of standardized language if that's important for you to communicate and have your teammates share, as they're speaking with customers. So this is going to be a way to automate that functionality and keep things consistent. All right, so getting into what's new. Coming in Q2, just off the heels of the release of the dynamic objects recently, we will be able to actually allow you to take action on the information that's being pulled in. So an example here would be, not only are we displaying particular information about this particular order that was referenced, if you need to update that information, like change the priority to low or change the delivery date, you would be able to do so within Front, again, relieving your team from having to switch between systems to make those updates. So this one is going to be, in my opinion, a highly impactful configuration to set up, just because it will save your team so much time, and also just from the lens of data integrity, just ensuring that no data is lost as you're switching between systems. This is something that can help to alleviate that risk. All right, another super exciting feature that's coming are macros. And so you can kind of think of these as quick shortcuts that an admin can configure. And so effectively, in this example here, what is shown is if you want your team to be able to intentionally escalate a conversation or a message, then all they would have to do is click this button, and the subsequent steps that an admin would configure would kind of kick into place or would trigger. And so effectively, this is a way now for your teams to be able to efficiently, follow through any processes that you have set in place. And then it also just ensures that whatever those processes are consistent, right? Because as an individual, I would just need to click a button or intentionally take an action, and then the rest of the subsequent actions that should be taken will just automatically be triggered. So this is something that would definitely keep your eye on over the next couple months here. So there will be additional improvements that we'll speak to in just a bit too, in terms of what will come after this release. So switching gears, just to kind of put the spotlight on AI here, we will be releasing towards the end of this quarter the ability to tag with AI. And I should actually mention here, our Q1 started in February. So when I say end of quarter, that's going to be coming end of April. But specifically with this AI tagging functionality, This is going to be a game changer for teams that are heavily using tags today. So for one, it will relieve any teammates that are like manually tagging conversations. With AI, it will automatically tag relevant conversations so that an individual or an agent doesn't have to. And from the admin perspective, instead of an admin having to set up those kind of like keyword-based type of tagging rules, instead what would happen is they'll just fill in a description of when this particular tag should be added. And then once the admin reaches kind of a certain level of confidence in terms of the accuracy of when AI is applying this tag, the AI will just automatically take over. So there's virtually no overhead for an admin to have to maintain that tag and the process behind it. All right. So another way that we are intending to leverage AI is extending it to email. So specifically for any email conversations that come in, we want to be able to suggest a response for you. And here we're kind of striking a balance where we don't want AI to completely take over. We want to give you confidence that it's, responding accurately, but we also want to give you, the ability to personalize the response, make sure that it's in the right tone, and, ensure that your customer is still receiving a warm response as expected. So this is something definitely to look forward to. And then I spoke about those macros earlier, but again, what's coming down the line is the ability for AI to suggest when those macros come into play. So initially I said, an agent or a teammate in front would intentionally have to kick off that macro or that shortcut to trigger the rest of the processes to be automated. But in this case, as we're seeing here in this example, AI can start to suggest, based on previous messages that have come in and ways that they were handled or ways that macros had been used, it will suggest which ones might make sense to kick off here. So that's going to be another way that we are really driving efficiency for your teammates and also ensuring that there is more consistency in terms of workflows that you set up within front and also in downstream systems. All right, so just moving on to that last kind of value pillar here, measuring and improving with operational insights. So we have launched conversation stages, which effectively kind of define certain stages for when a conversation actually gets resolved. And so this provides a little bit more granularity than just the basic, counting the number of replies and counting the number of archives. And so what's coming in the future is the ability to further customize these stages to really reflect how your team processes and resolves workflows. And so, for example, here you can see the default conversations are just unresolved and resolved. But again, you would be able to further customize what those stages look like and ultimately define when a conversation falls under each one of those stages. And so while we have some metrics here for you to be able to monitor, these conversations also unlock resolution analytics, all of these of which appear on the overview report in analytics. And so again, these resolution analytics just provide a little bit more granular detail for you to understand the performance around how your team is actually resolving conversations. So looking at how long it takes for them to resolve them, and just giving you a better understanding of, areas maybe to improve or certain stages of the process that can be made more efficient. So definitely one to monitor if you haven't already. Now, what's coming is the ability to further customize your CSAT survey experience. So this is something that we've heard a lot from customers, is just the ability to kind of customize what this experience looks like for their customers or for their recipients that they're sending these surveys out to. So we'll give you the option to, reflect your own kind of company or theme branding here on the survey landing page. We'll give you the ability to just customize further the types of information that you want to gather or pull in. Ultimately, all of this will get pulled into the customer satisfaction report in our analytics section, just for you to be able to get that more holistic view of not only what your team performance looks like, but also what the impact looks like for your customers. And then lastly here, we are also looking to revamp the overall analytics experience. And so really here, we just want to make it much more intuitive for you to find the reports and find the metrics that are most important for you to monitor and to visualize. So this is something, again, that's coming a little bit later down the line, but definitely something to keep an eye out for. So these are all rather things that we wanted to share with you today, just to keep you in the loop. And so I will pass off to Helena to talk through some of the other resources that we have available for you today.
Cool. Wow. Thanks, Bernadine. Thank you for taking us through all those exciting updates. We did get a few questions come in, and before I get to our Q&A, I'll just share a couple of our amazing resources with you. It's included for all front users on every plan. I'm going to drop those links in the chat again, so you can follow along as I talk about them. So first is Front Academy. It's our online community where users and the Front team come together. We talk shop, we share workflows, we ask product questions. There are tons of interesting conversations happening here every day, and our own team is very active here. And as I shared earlier, we'll post the recording and answer any remaining questions or things that come up about this webinar over there as well. So the link to that thread is this most recent one that I'm posting. The next resource is Front Academy. This is where we have guided courses to take you from a brand new user to fully set up, and we have advanced topics like analytics, dynamic variables, and we're constantly adding more. So this is also where you can find our weekly live office hours. It's located in the live training tab. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask, you have the chance to join us every week and ask them. And lastly, we have our Front Admin certification. It's also hosted within Front Academy. This is where you can be officially certified as a Front Admin by completing the courses. So you'll receive a certificate from us and a special badge in the community. We highly recommend this if you're in charge of implementing or maintaining Front for your company, or if you just want to learn as much as you can about Front. So for all of these resources, you just need your Front login to access them. And yeah, with that, I am going to take a scan through the questions that have come in and ask Bernadine. And I know there are some comments that have come in that are just more like, woohoo, this is great, or I love this. So if there are ones like that, Bernadine, you can go ahead and click the three dots and dismiss them. And then I'll just be left with the ones remaining that are like questions. Um,
Good.
yeah, so I'll give you just a second to do that while I pull that up as well.
All right.
Cool. Let me know when you are ready, Bernadine.
I think we're ready to get going.
Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna go from top to bottom. Giovanni asked, and as an FYI, if we get to any question that maybe we can provide more detail on by checking with our team first, we'll just follow up in the thread, in the community thread as well. So Bernadine, feel free to, to let us know if you want to check back with the team to give a more detailed answer about any of these. Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so the first question is, the AI chatbots were supposed to arrive in Q4. Is this revised deadline considered definitive? Good question.
Great question. So I wouldn't say that it's definitive. That's definitely what we're tracking towards. We actually extended the beta for AI chatbots. So that's kind of why the current timeline has been pushed out a little. So they've been in beta. We decided to extend the beta just to get more feedback and get kind of more customers in the beta today, so that we can, revise and work on any improvements there before we actually launch. But yeah, as of today, we are still tracking towards end of Q1.
Awesome. Next question is, will we be able to have multiple macro buttons?
Yes, that is the plan. On the slide that I showed, the designs weren't final there, so maybe don't take that particular design into account, but it is the plan to be able to have multiple macro buttons, especially as they relate to kind of like different shortcuts or different escalation paths that you want your team to be able to leverage.
Cool. Next question is, as we've already built a tagging structure, how will AI enhance the detection of the desired tag over the likes of keyword and sender rules?
That is a great question. So, kind of like you've pointed out, you've already created a structure for basically like a keyword or sender recognition to apply those particular tags. With using AI, we want to be able to help you alleviate the maintenance when you need to add more keywords or when you need to add more senders to the list. So that's kind of what the AI is enhancing there is we don't want you to have to rely on doing that manual maintenance. We want you to be able to tell the AI a description of what types of messages should be tagged and let that take over.
Awesome. The next one is, how do you link conversations?
Okay, this one will be tough to explain without visuals, but when you click into those three dot ellipses on a given message in a conversation, you should see that there is an option there for you to link a conversation. And then when you do so, a brand new kind of composer window will pop up, and then that will allow you to like send a brand new email and have it be linked to the existing message that you've just kind of clicked into. You are also able to link a conversation to any existing conversations. And so if you go into kind of your list view of conversations there and you highlight, one or two or however many conversations you want to link together, you should see that there's going to be an option kind of in the main panel up front where you would go to like leave comments or reply to a message. There'll be an option there for you to also link those existing conversations together. And I should mention too that today those linked conversations are available just for the email channels or email messages that come in. But shortly in the future here, we're going to be supporting linked conversations across all channels. So including SMS and chat and even discussions.
Very nice. I think you explained that very well, Bernadine, without a visual.
Cool.
I could
A
see it in
visual
my
would be
mind
helpful,
playing
but
out.
that's okay.
Okay, next question is there a timeline for enabling knowledge bases to be semi-private, shared via internet, intranet access by a select group of vendors, customers, etc., while remaining inaccessible to the general public and search engines?
Okay, this is a very valid question. I have also heard this come up. Not that I'm aware of, though I think to Helena's point of mentioning some of the resources where you can post this to, this is definitely a question that I would post in the community. And again, we can take it back to our product team as well, just to get more clarity there for you.
Great. We have a question. The next one says, can you add us in the beta? Bernadine, I don't know what the exact answer is, but I would suggest maybe just to email us and then we'll put you in touch with our product team. But Bernadine, I don't know if you have a better, more specific answer for that.
Yeah, not I couldn't be more specific than that. Reach out to us and we'll let you know if we're still accepting customers to join that beta. So we'll get in contact with you directly
Okay,
once
great.
you yeah.
I'm gonna pop our education email in the chat. So if anyone on the call is interested in joining a beta, just email this email and then say, hey, I was on the webinar and I'm interested in XYZ beta, and then we'll check with our product team and let you know. And the next question is, I have been pushed the beta for Ask AI. Is there a toggle to turn it on? And if so, where is it?
Not totally sure what this is referring to.
Yeah.
Maybe if you can, yeah, reach out to us again and provide some clarity around what exactly you are seeing. I think that'll give us more insight in terms of how to better answer that. So sorry about that.
No worries. And the next one is, would the planned front native SMS support MMS and group messaging?
Okay, so today I think because we're still very, very much in the early and exploratory phases of what it would mean to launch native SMS, I think for now we're just focusing on SMS. But again, if MMS support and group messaging is important for you and for your use case, those are all insights that we want to ensure that we are surfacing back up to our product team. So thank you for that.
Yes. And in fact, if you weren't already aware, we do have a public idea submission board where our product team regularly goes through these comments and requests and looks at the upvotes on them. So there might already be one of these added to there, which you can upvote on, or you can add it. You can add as much detail about your desired use case and examples about that to our product ideas board. So welcome you to go there and give us more information. We can certainly take this and we will take this back to our product team, but it's always a little bit more powerful when like a customer themselves tell us exactly what they're looking for and why. So yes, thank you for that
Definitely.
question. Um, and the last one, we didn't quite cover this topic, but if you happen to know, Bernadine, will sharing meetings ever be implemented into the calendar?
Um, so I probably need a little bit more detail here, but in terms of like being able to see other people's calendars on their meetings, that's something that we already support. In terms of like video conferencing to share meetings, that's also something that we already support. So
Yeah, so maybe a little bit more question
yeah.
and yeah, maybe a little bit more detail on that, and feel free to post that into the community thread as well. And anything that we don't know between this group here, we will loop in our product team to help answer. And the next question is regarding SMS, MMS. The logistics industry depends heavily on MMS in addition to SMS. I would love to get in on this beta and encourage you to leave the product team, let the product team know of the importance of this feature set. Thank you. Yeah, for sure.
Noted. Yeah, noted, 100%.
Yes. Um,
Uh,
and then we
oh,
do have
iCal. I
yeah, do you want to just read that one out so everyone can hear?
Oh, yeah. So the question was, when will you support native iCal invitations? Many calendaring systems send out iCal invitations. Haven't heard that one come up actually. So this again, I think would be a really good one to post on the ideas board, just coming from you, so that again, our product team can intake this and prioritize it.
Great. And then we have just a couple more that actually I can help answer since the answer is relevant to to the things that I work on. But one of the questions is what's a good way to stay up to date on all these product changes? So we recommend you to subscribe in Front Community. There is a tab that says product updates at the very top. You can go in and subscribe to that page, and then every time we have an update on there, which we'll post every new product update there, you'll get a notification that says we have a new post there and you can go and read about it. It'll give you an email notification. And then the next question is about how do I submit a feature request? I did put the link in the chat. So the most recent link that I put is exactly where you would go to submit that feature request. You can also go there and upvote other people's ideas. Um, and yeah, as of right now, those are all the questions that we have. I want to say thank you to everyone for joining us today. It's been very fruitful, and we have been really excited to share our roadmap with you. And we're so grateful you spent the almost hour with us today to learn more about where Front is headed. And we hope to continue to help you all work happier and more productively. You can join a community to stay plugged in on all the updates and events. And we hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone.